Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to Reality Buzz TV. You guys, I'm very excited today because we are going to do the full review of the Mommy Club episode 2, episode 1 of season 2. Welcome, 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 you guys. Just make sure that if you are on this channel, you are also on Andomdlete channel because there's a lot going on over there, you guys. And in fact, we have exciting news when it comes to Ntandomdlete channel because one of our thumbnails, or let's just say a video, because I mean, a thumbnail is a thumbnail for a video. We made it to the Mommy Club. So they actually did show just a tiny little bit of our video on. Well, it's not a video, but it's a video. You know what I mean? Listen, we want to make it more like bigger than it is, but not too big. We don't want to exaggerate too much. So yes, one of our thumbnails made it to this show, actually the Mommy Club season 2, when they were talking about what Mrs. Mops was going through. I did do that story after last season ended, where it was reported that Mrs. Mops's house was about to go on auction, you guys. So listen, we're making a mark. It might be a small mark, but it was very exciting to see that on the show. So make sure that you are subscribed here and the other show as well, you guys. Overall, how I feel about season 2, I'm loving it, you guys. Even though I had expressed my disappointment with having Miss Mancha back, I kind of felt like at the end of it, okay, let me just give them a chance as to like see let me see what they are trying to do with bringing Miss Mancha back, because remember she did not attend the reunion, so I wasn't understanding why they will bring somebody like that back. And also somebody that doesn't attend a reunion, you don't know if she will attend the next one, so why are you allowing her to do season 2? But after I watched episode 1, I was like, okay, maybe I'll give her another chance, you guys. I loved this episode. I love how the new ladies are coming in. I kind of feel like no Zippo, to be more specific, you guys. I like how she came in and she's like, listen, I'm dealing with this very emotional issue here. My marriage is not perfect and we're going through some things. I did feel, you guys, that she is really going through real emotions, especially her and her daughter. And I mean, I shed a tear. I don't want to lie, you guys, when I was listening to her, and especially when I was listening to her daughter talk about what's happening with her mom and dad, you guys. So I believe that story. I love that story. I mean, guys, we know I'm a reality show. She could have come here and pretended that she was still in a happy marriage with her husband, which a lot of people have done. And then later on, we find out that they're going through a divorce, or they were going through a divorce while on the show, but they never talked about it. She could have done that, but she decided she's going to just tell us the truth, because I think we're going to assume it's the truth for now, you guys. So I'm loving Unozipo. I didn't see a lot of Ujabulile Sunday yet, you guys, but I mean, I guess I'll give her a chance. It was the first episode, you guys. All the ladies are back except for Omuhle. Omuhle is not back. So we've got Happy, who says that she is focusing on herself and her business. And I love the fact that she's saying that, you guys, because listen, I don't need to Happy to Jola again this. She's very fast when it comes to Mjolo. You know, the next thing, Happy might be single in the first episode and be married in the last episode of the same season, because she moves that fast, you guys. Ratile is back. She seems just a little bit more happy, you guys. And she says that she is studying now because she wants to be an accredited project manager. So I mean, she's back, you know, getting herself educated because she wants to bring substance. That's what she said, you guys. So, and there's something she said that was fun, you guys, because they were showing her dancing with the kids, and she's like, "This is how we begin our day with our kids. We begin with a little bit of a dance." And I'm like, "Girl, like you really want us to believe that you wake up in the morning every morning and do a dance with your kids?" We are mamas, we know it doesn't happen like that. Everybody would like to have a dance with their kids in the morning. Like, you really want us to believe that? I thought it was funny that she was saying that she wants us to believe that, you know, they start their day by dancing in the morning. Maybe they do it, you guys. Maybe they do it. And then Mrs. Mops is also back, you guys, looking beautiful. Her kids, I love Mrs. Mops's kids. They always look like they're very respectful kids, very well mannered. And she says one child is now in high school, one in middle school, and the other one in primary. By the way, you guys, we do not remember the big thing when she was being introduced for the show is that she has eight kids. But she clarifies to say when she met her husband, her husband had three kids and she had one. This is the thing that I don't understand though, you guys, because she talked about how her and her husband met when they were very young. She said they were like 18. She had her first child when she was 18 and she married young. But then she also met her husband when she already had one child. So I was like, did you get married at 18 and you already had one child at 18? But then your husband, when you married him at 18, he already had three kids. And then together they had four kids. So it means that they got together and just started having kids. And now they have eight kids, you guys. Listen, I guess we are going to learn more about that because that part really confused me. Because I felt like if you married young, then I would expect that maybe the kids that you are going to have is the kids together, unless, of course, your husband, like her husband, is a lot older than her. Maybe that's why he already had the three kids, and then that means that she had her child at 18, and immediately after that, she married her husband. Okay. So, but it looked like all of the kids live with her except for one child that she said her son is overseas. I believe that he is studying overseas. They introduced Jabulile. Jabulile is from the Free State, three kids, two step kids, you guys. Listen, a lot of people have blended families, and I know having blended families is not as easy, you guys, and but it looks like a lot of people are doing it. Okay, when these women marry men with kids, they take them and raise them. It looks that way, you guys. So oh happy, they are oh happy with the nanny. Ubangambo shalom, the nanny got happy. I'm having a conversation, you guys. Let me start with this conversation, and then yeah. Okay, let me start with this conversation. They're having a conversation. First, they want to plan Paris's birthday, which I love, you guys, because remember last season, the youngest of Happy's kids, which is Happy, some of us felt like she was just like an ignored kid, like a kid that is forgotten. I remember when she even almost slapped the kid when they were sitting at the table. So I'm loving the fact that they're going to be giving her attention. I'm sure she gets attention, but there were scenes last season where it felt like Ngati, she's just an irritation to Uhappy. So they're going to be planning a birthday party for Paris. I loved that, you guys. But the interesting thing about this conversation is that they get to talking about Barbara. Okay, let me remind people who Barbara is. Ratile has a nanny. Remember, the concept of Mommy Club is the mummies, okay, the rich mummies. So there's an element of it where they introduce the nannies. So the nannies are very important to the story Sagwe Mommy Club. So they have their own storylines basically. But I do feel like the mummies control the nannies storyline because guys, we know our nannies know a lot about us, okay? And if they had to give the tea to everybody, it will be a mess, okay? Unenwazi yonke into ngawe. So I do feel like, the mummies try and control how much screen time the nannies are getting. So they're having a conversation about Barbara. Barbara was Ratile's nanny. Ratile's nanny, they were all happy. The nannies had built like some type of a friendship together. Then you guys, they go to the reunion. Okay. Barbara shows up, but Barbara is not showing up with Ratile. She's showing up on her own. Ratile is showing up on her own. So they get asked, how is the working relationship going? They reveal that Barbara no longer works for Ratile. Okay. But Ratile just says, Oguti, listen, we had to let go of her. She's seeking other opportunities. And yes, we would like to have her back, but we can't. It was almost like she is saying Barbara quit her job for better opportunities. They were even talking about, I think Barbara is making curtains or something like that. There's something about the curtains, okay? But it was weird the way that the expressions Zika Barbara while Ratile was saying that at the reunion, it felt like maybe Ratile was like, you know what, let's not tell the people what happened with our relationship. But it's coming back this season because we're happy. And Shalom here, and then it is it Shalom? Shalom or Shalom? Why did I write so? Is it Shalom or Shalom? Okay, the nanny ahead. So they're having a conversation. And she says, ukuthi, "Hayi bo, Barbara didn't quit her job. Barbara was fired from her job. So Ratile did fire Barbara. And she was just told ukuthi umsebenzi uphelile, and she feels like there was no reason to fire her. As it stands, Barbara doesn't have a job, you guys. I am like, where is it, Barbara? Okay, because Barbara seemed like a really good nanny. Somebody must hire Barbara somewhere. Okay, so the umkos of the nannies is that even though Ratile said that um, Barbara got other opportunities, that is not the truth. She actually fired Barbara for no reason. In fact, she has even hired new nannies, which means that she wasn't still in need of a nanny. So listen, you guys, I think that is going to be an interesting story because the producers have every right to still bring Barbara back to the show because Barbara was a cast member in the show. Mrs. Mops did reveal in one interview that they actually do pay the nannies to do that show. So there is a check for the mommy and there is a check for the nanny. Okay. So a nanny is actually a cast member on the show. So they can actually decide to bring Barbara back to tell her story as to what happened with her employment with the Ratile. I'm looking forward to that, you guys, just because in their time in Daba. Okay. And then get Mrs. Mops and Manche, the Umanchi or Manche. They write it as Manchi. I thought last season she was Manche too. So they got just going out for coffee, you guys. That is Mrs. Mops's nanny. But there is something that I feel changed with this relationship because they were sitting down to have a conversation where Manchi is asking Mrs. Mops about what has been reported on social media, because I guess she's only been seeing things on social media. But I was like, but so where have you been? I felt like, so where has Manchi been? Is Manchi still waiting for Mrs. Mops, or did she only come back now so they can shoot the show and still pretend that she is still the nanny? Is she still a nanny? Because it sounded to me like she was somewhere else and reading things on social media. Now she's coming back and asking Mrs. Mops what's going on. Okay, there's something, you guys, that I'm not understanding there. So they are talking about the story that we all talked about, which was the fact that Mrs. Mops's house was about to go for auction. Okay, there was even some papers that were supposed to be legal papers that were stating when the house was how much the house was owing, and that it was supposed to go on auction. And Mrs. Mops, at some point, I think at the reunion, she said yes, it did happen, but they were able to save the house. Okay, so that is actually where my thumbnail came up because I did talk about that story. I actually did a live when that story came out, and I was talking about the story, the report that the house was about, to go on auction. So she says that has been a challenging time, and she says that, but the surprise was that the girls really came through for her. She says one of the first people she heard from was Ratile. She says Happy was very supportive. So she kind of feels like even though they might not be like best of friends on the show, but when it was time for them to show up for her, they really did. So she appreciated that, you guys. I do love a relationship with Mrs. Mops and Manchi. And this is a thing that makes me always feel like, okay, because sometimes I feel like Mrs. Mops has like mean vibes, okay? And she will be giving Ama vibes, Oguti, she looks down on people. But every time I watch her with her nanny, that's when I'm like, Mrs. Mops is not a bad person, okay? Because you guys, like sometimes when the mummies are talking to the nanny, you can just tell, okay, they're talking to the nannies. But Mrs. Manch, I don't know, there's something different about the way that she treats her nanny, and the conversations that they will be having. So I was like, she must not be such a bad person because here she is treating her nanny very well, you guys. And I like that, you guys. I like that they are able to support each other. They were out for coffee and just having that conversation. Okay. And Matt also actually gets emotional at the end in a direct session talking about how Mrs. Mob has helped her. This is one of the things that made me suspect that she might not be working for Mrs. Mops anymore. I feel like maybe she got other opportunities and went on to do that. And I don't feel like, I don't know, I just got the thing of, are they still together? Because she's asking her about the things that are reported on social media, only getting the answers now as to how Mrs. Mops is feeling about that. Also, she's talking about how Mrs. Mops has helped her a lot and change her life. So I feel like, how did she change your life? Did she get you a new job? Did you get other opportunities? Because Mrs. Moms put you on the show. Now you just back to do the show. You just back to be a nanny so you can do the show and then be going on with your life. So there's something that made me suspect that Umanchi might not be with Mrs. Mops anymore when it comes to nannying. Okay, but we will learn more about it, you guys, as time goes on. Okay, I love their friendship. I don't want to lie, but I do feel like it's very difficult to have a close friendship like that with somebody that helps you. In like when you have a working relationship and also have a friendship, it's very hard. The fact that they've been able to do it, you guys, I admire their relationship, that they've been able to keep it professional but at the same time remain friends. Don't close it, babe. So listen, you guys. Yes. So then, you guys, the scene that I felt like for me was like my favorite was this one. Okay. Happy and this so her daughter are meeting with Nozipo and her daughter Ukoko, because apparently on social media, Udiseto and Coco have become friends. And so the mummies are meeting so they can get to know each other, because Ukoko and Diseto were meeting for the first time, like in person. They've only spoken on social media. Okay. One, I feel like Happy is like a perfect person to bring Nozipo around, because I do feel like a lot of the things that they're going through, maybe Happy will be able to relate to. Not that Happy went through a divorce, but she lost her husband, and there was a cheatation situation in her marriage and all of that. And also, they were going through that very challenging relationship with her daughter, where they had to go to therapy last season. I'm happy that they're doing better. Even Tiseto is like, listen, I am so happy that me and my mom are doing better this time. Our relationship has improved. So I love that. But they are meeting Unozipo, no Coco. With them, I feel like it's not really that they are struggling in their relationship, but because the mom and the dad are not doing well, they're having marital problems. Coco is not doing well with that. Okay. So they meet. It's this place where they are painting bottles or something. And so the mummies end up, sitting on one table, and then the girls go and sit in a separate table, which I thought was such a good idea, because we ended up getting like really good scenes in the same scene. Okay, it was one scene that ended up with two different scenes, because the mummies were having their own conversation about Zipo coming into the group and what she's been up to, what's happening in her marriage. And also on the other side, Tiseto was also having that conversation with Coco about what's going on with with her, because apparently there's a message that she sent early hours of the morning, crying. Okay, let me start with the kids, you guys. So Coco says that, listen, recently in their home, there is Nozipo's home, because Coco is Nozipo's stepdaughter. Okay. But she calls her mommy. So that's her mom. Okay. So she says that things have not been the same at home. She's not okay, meaning Coco is not okay. She says, my mom is not okay. My siblings are not okay in the house. And this is like, but what the hell happened? She's like, because my dad is not the dad that the person that is my dad now was not my dad. Let me just say that my dad is not himself, because initially I thought, did Nozipo get a new man in the house? Maybe she was married to someone else and got someone else, because she was saying my dad is not the person he used to be. Okay. But she explained it in a way that you would even feel like this woman changed men. Okay. She had one man in the house and then had another. Okay. But she was like, my dad is different. She was basically saying that her dad is now different in the house as a result. She sees her mom hurt a lot because she gets really emotional. She cries about it. She says that's the reason she's not even at school right now. And then Uti said, I think this said did a really good job in trying to comfort her and also telling her to cry out, because sometimes the instinct when somebody cries is like to say, oh, Shem, don't cry, don't cry. But she was like, just cry it out, okay? And she did well in comforting her. I felt like, you know what, after Nozipo revealed Tuguti, Coco is actually not her biological child, because she said Coco is her husband's child that they found later on in their marriage. Okay. So I'm guessing that the husband didn't know he had a daughter, and then they found out about her and then they brought her into the family. So that integration has been very difficult for the family and for Coco as well. Now, I get why the conflict between her parents would affect her more, because imagine, you guys, if it ends up being that Unozipo, someone's actually said that they're actually going through a divorce. If it ends up being that Unozipo and her husband go their separate ways, so now would Ukoko now go with her father because she's not really Nozipo's biological child? I can understand how that can be very emotional for a child to think about the fact that the thing that has been stable in her life, which is her family, now is unstable. There is nobody sure about what's going to happen in the future. Like she's saying, nobody in the house is okay. Her siblings are not okay. Her mom is not okay, and she's feeling like her father is not the same man that he was back then. I don't know why I'm having a hard time explaining that. Okay. So that was a good scene on its own, you guys. I hope that what you said to end Ukoko, they become good friends, but I hope that they influence each other in the right way. And also, guys, what's up with these kids? These rich people's kids that are not in school. What's up with that? Why is it normal for rich people to just not be like, it does not matter what my child is going through. You are going to be in school until you finish your matric. Okay, we are going to go to therapy sessions after school, on weekends, whatever we need to do, but you are going to be in school. Why is it like easy for them to just be, you know? I don't understand that part of it, you guys. Maybe we'll find out more as we move on. So, and then the program, no, happy are talking, because she's talking about the fact that she's struggling to let go of the idea of having a mom and a dad and a family and all of that, but she's going through some real struggles. Even her diary sessions were very hard for her to do because she's crying. It's emotional, you guys. Like you can feel her emotions during the diary session. And she said something, you guys, like, I do not know independence. She says she does not know independence because she married young, you guys. And I was like, like I feel like it's very difficult if you've been a housewife your whole life and then you realize, okay, your marriage is ending. Now, what am I gonna do? Now you have to start thinking about, okay, what can I do? What am I good at? What were my dreams and all of that? That's why I feel like while in the marriage, don't let go of yourself. Don't let go of your own dreams. Now and make your own mind. Like just have something so that if it ends, then you can just, focus on the thing. Like for her to be only now, she's like, I don't know, like I'm trying events, what planning company, and then she's like, what else did she say she was doing? Online clothing store. And then she also says that she has a struggle with starting something and not finishing. I can relate, you know. And I did feel like Happy is the right person to talk to to talk to about that, because Happy is a go-getter. Single woman is getting the bag all the time. Okay. So I feel like maybe she can give her some advice and all of that. So maybe Happy is the right person for her to hang out with. But I was also just feeling nervous, for her. I'm like, hey, girl, like, get it together, because if this man walks away, or if you decide to walk away, you must have some options. You can't just be staying in that marriage because, financially for you, it's going to be a disaster. So, yes, you guys, it did feel like Nozipo was a little bit nervous at certain points, and when she was speaking to Uhappy, but I did feel like we got a good scene from her. I don't know if she's going to blend in this group, you guys, because she seemed like a very calm person. She takes her time when she speaks, because it can get hectic here. I did appreciate her honesty, you guys. I really absolutely appreciated her honesty. I think if she's going to do it like this, I really feel like I am going to love her, because I love stories that are real, that we can relate to. And I really do hope that some of us don't watch these shows just for entertainment and it ends there, especially for young women, because I do feel like in between, you guys, there are lessons. Okay. In between, there are lessons. Look at Happy. Okay. Happy married a man, the man cheated on her, ended up dying, with a side chick in the car. But yes, Happy has had some struggles, but all of those struggles have not been financial when it comes to Happy. Happy's lifestyle is still Happy's lifestyle, even with that man gone. Okay. And then you look at Unozip. I feel like a lot of her struggle to make a decision whether she stays or leaves in this relationship, I do think that a lot of it has to do with money, because she did say, listen, I don't know independence at all. Okay. So, I mean, I think there are lessons there for us to learn. Okay, let's be making some, well, in this marriage that is very, very nice and comfortable, let's be making some plans, so that we can be comfortable on our own as well, you guys. So, listen, they end up talking about the fact that there is going to be a birthday party. Apparently, Tiseto had already invited the family, but Happy is not happy with that, because she feels like these people is like 8 kids already. That's like too many people when considering the guest list that she had. Okay. And then they ended up talking about Nunurai, and Nozipo knows Nunurai because they attended some master class, because she at the time she was starting an events planning company which never took off, I guess, because she says she does struggle with that thing of trying to start something and then she never really follows up and completes it. And then, you guys, we get into the Nunurai situation. Okay, Happy did say, you guys, that she's going to bring Unozipo to the event and Nunurai because they are invited, but she is, you know, she's going to be cautious because the last time she introduced, the person to the group, it didn't go well. Remember, she introduced Ratile turned on her, that situation. So they were going to go together to Nunurai's event. Now, you guys, there is Nunurai and Miss Manche. This is where Miss Manche showed up. Really, honestly, you guys, for the most part, I really just was feeling like I do want to give at the end of this scene, I was like, okay, I need to give Miss Mancha a chance for me to be able to enjoy this show. But while this scene was taking place, I was still in that place of, I really don't care what you think. Okay. Like in the sense that she's asking about the reunion. I'm like, everybody was at the reunion except you, girl. We watched it on TV. So now you are getting back to what was talked about at the reunion because you were not there. But we don't care that you were not there. Why is this a thing? Why are we updating Miss Mancha about the reunion? Because she did not want to attend. I was just not understanding it, you guys. She's like, yeah, I'm dying to know what happened at the reunion. And I'm like, but we are not interested because you did not attend, okay? She says the reason that she did not attend is because things were off. And I guess the season didn't go as she had hoped. She had hoped that people were going to come together and apologize. And so she did not want to go to the reunion. I feel like she just didn't want to go there and be held accountable for her own stuff, for herself being messy at times. And it was very irritating that she wasn't at the reunion. And it's very irritating that in season 2, we have a whole scene of her sitting down and finding out about the reunion. Why didn't you do that before you started shooting season 2? Okay, we know what happened at the reunion, so we don't need to be reminded what happened at the reunion. You were not there. We were waiting for you to be at the reunion, so it was a kind of irritating. Okay. Now, apparently, Mrs. Mops unfollowed Nunu Rai, almost unfollowed Nunu Rai. I'm like, this lady, why are you unfollowing each other? Because you're still going to work together. And this is a thing that I didn't even think was that serious at the reunion, where Happy claimed that Nunurai said something about her HIV positive mom. And because Nunurai had read something in the book Happy about her mom being HIV positive. Okay. Now, Happy was not happy about that at the reunion. Now, Nora is feeling like Happy only brought that up to tarnish her name, because guys, when it as anything associated with HIV and AIDS, if you say something, they're saying, oh, you're discriminating against it. It's the same thing as the alphabet community. You can't say nothing, honey, okay? Because if you say anything, that is even close to being wrong, you will be what do they call it? You will be cancelled. Okay. So she says that she still feels like she needs to address that with Mrs. Happy, because she does not understand why she brought that up at the reunion. Now, Nonora is planning an event where she's having a flower, whatever launch thing that she did even last season, a flower event. And then she invites Mrs. Manchi for them to collaborate, because they want to do so that she can launch her product, and then Nunura can do the flowers, and she can do, she's got the undergarments thing is, yes, you guys. So I was like, these people are really bringing Miss Mancha back, because how is she now collaborating with someone at this first event that they're going to? What the hell? Okay. And that's why I was like, okay, I guess I have to find a way to be okay with Miss Mancha being part of the show. But I was kind of feeling like she doesn't deserve our attention at all, because she did not show up for the reunion. You won't hear the end of it if you don't show up for the reunion. So I was like, yeah, Ned, these producers are really bringing this lady back to, even though she did not attend the reunion. Okay. I do love the fact that Nunu Rai and Miss Manche seem like they've built a genuine friendship. I think Nunu Rai tries to make an effort with these friendships, okay, especially the people that she did not have issues with by the end of season 1. So I feel it does feel like conversations that she's having. It's not feeling like last season. It feels like really these people are friends, okay? So they're saying they're going to invite the ladies, but they're not going to tell them that Miss Mancha is part of the event. So the event is like a collaboration of the two of them. And then immediately after that scene, they're already at the event, preparing and all of that, decoration and and they're stressed about it. It turns out to get okay, you guys, because they do show us the finished product. It's very nice. And the ladies arrive. We saw the ladies arriving for the event, you guys. I thought that everyone was impressed. I mean, Mrs. Mob said that the event looked really nice. Oh, Happy said the same, but they were shocked by the fact that I think somewhere it was written Nunu Rice Company and then Miss Manche's company at the same time, which I've forgotten. What's the name? What's the name of the company? Yes, you guys. So of course, here you've got Unozipo who came with Happy, and then you've got who's the other lady? The other one. Who's the other one? Yes, the other one, the other new lady. Who is it? The other new lady, the one who said yes, Ujabulile. So they're here, they're introducing themselves. Everybody's being polite, but the old cast is just weird and tense. Okay, so I don't know how this event is gonna go, you guys. Listen, I love the first episode. I think that the new cast is more likely going to have more interesting storylines. And I do feel like when it comes to Uhepi, I don't know where she's gonna go with her storyline, because her storyline last season was her having lost her husband. The husband had cheated, died in a car with the side chick. and then her relationship with her daughter. So I don't know where she's gonna go with the storyline this season. So I kind of feel like I'm looking forward to the storylines of the new cast. Okay. And then everybody else, I'm just looking for drama, I guess, because they're going to have to talk about these relationships at some point. Anyway, you guys, that's all that we saw in this episode of the Mommy Club. And please make sure that you watch the show if you do have Showmax, you guys. It's interesting enough. Okay. You can spend your afternoon watching this show. I recommend it. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Please let's meet in the comment section to talk about these ladies. What did you think of the first episode, and who are you looking forward to seeing in this season? And what did you think of Nozipo's story? It was touching to me, you guys, but maybe other people might not feel that way. I liked it. Anyway, thank you so much. Please like the stream before Pumegiona. Well, it's not really a stream because, yeah, it's a video. I'm so used to doing on my lives now. Anyway, like the video before Pumegana, share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers in Tanda.